Okay, let's go. Please, everyone, join this activity. Let's start. Okay, well, this is something is one of the elements of art. In art, it says painting showing objects. These are called still life. Still also means algo que está quieto. Okay, so when you say still life and you have the context of art, it means like una vida como inmovible. It's called like this because it's an element of the art, right? It's simply a way in art that they call objects like flowers, food, household items, things that are not animals or are not people. So this is called still life. These objects, like kind of paintings that only show objects without life, for example, it's a still life. So it's just objects. We could also say inanimated, inanimados, sin vida. All right, let's go. Excellent. Sculpture. A solid three-dimensional work of art. Very well. So just pay attention to the pronunciation, right? We say sculpture. Let's go. Okay, so this I didn't know honestly the answer. So you call the school escuela? It's like we could say like a generation of, or we could also think of philosophy or a common thought, so that they all belong to one. So in this case, Van Gogh, if someone asks you what kind of painter was Van Gogh, so you can see that he was a post-impressioner. Um, Not really sure what that is. There is impressionism, there is pop art. Pop art, it refers to popular art. So it paints more like things that are we could say more common to every person's life. Um, Abstractism. Also, we could think about painters who, well, paint abstract things, but these are like some categories that people use. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, so it's called genre painting, the painting that represents a scene from everyday life, algo cotidiano, se va a llamar genre painting. So in this case, I don't know, we see people, we see a beach, right? What other elements do you see in this picture here in this painting? What do you see in this painting?
Sea, sky, people.
Mhm. Okay. So they're just enjoying themselves in the beach, right? Well, let's continue. Okay, from the 20th century, pinturas del siglo XX, but they are not from any particular movement. Okay, we have like two possible, right? Two possible answers, contemporary art or modern art. So contemporary, you will call something that belongs to one particular era, a una época en particular, that is contemporary. Sometimes we use the word contemporary as modern, but in this case it's not. Okay, so we could think like, and we could even, maybe let's find out. So we, just for curiosity, what's the difference between modern and contemporary art? So we are not experts in art. We can see modern art came before contemporary art. Most art historians and critics put the beginning of modern art in the West at around 1860s, continuing up to 1960s. Okay, so we can say modern art, el arte moderno en realidad no es el más moderno, al menos no por ese nombre. The most modern, we could call it, could be contemporary or most or postmodern. So modern art en realidad no es tan moderno, no es del siglo XX. Okay. Now, what about contemporary art? Um, yeah, contemporary says happening or beginning now or in recent times. Okay, so now we know every day you learn something new, right? Let's check. Si no pudieron unirse, aquí está el link para que puedan unirse a la actividad. También aquí abajo aparece el pin, so you can join to the activity. A painting with not subject. Ajá. It's called abstract. Muy bien. Es más sencillo, ¿no? Abstracto. So, I don't know. I see some, it has many interpretations. I don't know what this could be, what this could mean. It's up to you.
A bad Rubik.
It could be a Rubik, a Rubik cube, yes. Okay, una pintura que muestra un evento bíblico. History painting. Okay, not only biblical, but we could see like in ancient times, right? History painting. So the point is, in history painting, they tell you an historical event, right? They say un evento histórico. So that's a history painting. So they are telling you what happened during one time in history. Okay. La imagen principal en una pintura se llama. How do you think? Remember this vocabulary we haven't seen. No uses the vocabulary, but we are learning too. So exactly, it's the subject, es el sujeto. In your opinion, what is the main image in the painting? What is the subject? ¿Cuál es el sujeto de esta pintura?
Bridge.
The bridge es lo que resalta más, ¿no? Entonces, ese es el sujeto. The bridge, excellent. All right, so it can be a person, it can be a landscape, right? And the biggest thing or the most important thing in the painting that is called the subject. Like you can see immediately, the first thing you recognize, you know? La primera cosa que reconoces en la pintura, well, that is called the subject. Una pintura de naturaleza, ¿cómo la ponemos? Excellent. Landscapes. Landscape is paisaje, but you can also call the kind of art where you paint nature, you call it landscape. Very well. This is one of my personal kind of paintings. This is uno de mis tipos de arte favoritos. I love paintings of landscapes. In general, I love landscapes, pictures, everything. Okay, very well. Portrait. Portrait is retrato. All right. You also know you know your phone, cuando pones la cámara frontal. No, perdón, no la cámara frontal. Cuando hay un modo en el teléfono, cuando tomas una foto, so it makes it focuses on the subject, but it blurs the background, ¿no? Hay un modo en las fotos que hace enfocar al sujeto y se ve borroso lo que está detrás de esa persona, ¿no? The background is blurred. Eso decimos también modo retrato. So in English is the same, right? Person, think of it like the subject is a person, but it cannot only be a person, it could be also the pet. Y recuerden, si tuviéramos en lugar de una persona o una mascota, tuviéramos algo inanimado, perdón, digamos una manzana. When you have a painting of an apple. So eso no se llamaría portrait, sino se llamaría the subject. Ese es el sujeto, right? Okay. So that's a portrait. Not sure who is him. Okay, let's check him out. Gustav Klimt. Okay, a modernist. Okay. So he's an important artist of the modern art. Un importante artista, pintor del arte moderno, right? Remember, modern, en arte se dice moderno, no lo más moderno, eso se llamaría contemporáneo. While modern es el siglo XX, o sea, moderno, pero no tanto, right? So he's one. And the movement, right, is Art Nouveau. I think it's pronunciation in French, and Art Deco. Okay, you will need to be like very expert in art to know these things. Michelangelo is a famous artist from which period? Okay, Renacimiento. Don't worry, it's sometimes difficult to know, right? Yeah, okay, very well. Michelangelo. You know, he was very talented. Creo que él pintó esto a los 21 años, ¿no? He was very talented. Michelangelo, oh, God and Adam. Esta pintura se llama así, a la creación de Adán. Ajá. So Michelangelo painted it. Okay. Um, maybe we can. Okay, he already was a painter when he was 12 or 13 years old. Ok, a los 13 años ya era pintor, 12 o 13 años. I don't know, but he was young. He was young and he was talented. It took 4 years to complete. Le tomó 4 años dibujarlo. Okay, but it's not easy. It's not difficult to know. Um, okay. So now we can do some math. No, actually, he wasn't that young. He was 37 years when he painted that. How about the David? It's called David.
It says that it was in 1501.
1501. So he was 26. He made David when he was 26. Él hizo esta obra cuando tenía 26 años. Okay. Michelangelo, very talented, right? Okay. Let's continue. He was very young still. Y una obra de arte que incluye a alguien actuando, bailando, cantando, moviéndose de alguna manera, lo llamamos Excellent. It's a performance art. Entonces, performance en inglés lo vamos a llamar como interpretar. Y eso puede referirse a lo que ya mencionamos, a actuar, a bailar. Y en inglés es un solo verbo, puedes decir perform. Y eso aplica desde los cantantes hasta personas que bailan o que actúan o como sea. Se utiliza en inglés una sola palabra, que es perform, y performance es eso, como el show que ellos dan. Okay, but not only performance, also is when they are um, when they are doing that act, cuando están haciendo esa acción. So that's what you call performance. So performance art. We have also the fine arts, ¿no? Las finas o las bellas artes, the fine arts. Cine, fotografía, baile, ok. How you call this? ¿Una pintura del océano o de la vida marina? Esta es una palabra que es un juego de palabras entre landscape, que es paisaje, recuerdan landscape significa paisaje, en sea, que es el océano. Entonces, si mezclamos landscape en sea, we get seascape. Okay, let's continue. Ok, que reflejan cosas de el arte, de la cultura popular, ¿cómo lo llamamos? Very well. Pop art. You know, for example, pop, de ahí viene la palabra pop. Pop viene de popular. Okay. So, popular art is everything that comes from popular culture. No exactamente moderno, sino algo que es de la cultura popular. For example, the Beatles, they were pop music. Los Beatles en su época fueron música pop. Now we have other kinds of artists that represent pop music. But pop music is, cuando alguien dice me gusta el pop, en realidad lo que quieres decir, al menos en inglés, es que el pop es música de cultura popular. Okay? I don't know, like hits, como los hits del más sonados o algo así. So very famous artists. That is pop music, and with pop art could be the same. Okay, ¿qué estilo es Picasso? I don't know. Let's find out. I would say Cubism or Impressionism. Okay, entonces sí es del cubismo. Okay, his works were very geometrical, right? Like shapes. He created his shapes out of geometry, but at the same time, they all we could think like it's kind of abstract art, como un tipo de arte abstracto, ¿no? Pero hecho con geometría. But in the end, you see some shapes, right? For example, you can see what are some elements or what are some still art that you see in this painting? Kevin, ¿qué, qué elementos ven en este dibujo?
Triangles, rectangulars,
Uh-huh. Do you see
squares,
maybe this bowl? What else do you see? A horse, maybe. Right, well, it's difficult to know exactly what you are seeing.
ghosts.
Right? Ghosts, lights, hell, we don't know. Okay, next question. El arte que producen los artistas ahora se llama contemporáneo. Muy bien. Entonces recuerden. Modern No es tan moderno, ¿no? Modern se refiere al del siglo anterior. Contemporary es de este siglo. Yo tampoco lo sabía. Honestly. You tell me modern art, contemporary art, for me, they are synonyms. Interesting that I don't know exactly what's postmodern, but retro modern art, we could think about new paintings that try to imitate or to have the retro style. You know that retro is a kind of trend, ¿no? Hay muchas personas que les gusta la onda retro. We
Pues,
can think about their clothes, right? Su ropa, la música que escuchan, no sé. So we could apply the same for art. Let's see what exactly is postmodern art, just for curiosity. What is postmodern? Uh, uh, Mid-late 20th century, o sea, finales del siglo XX. Digamos que está en medio del arte moderno y el contemporáneo, ¿no? So merged in its aftermath. Okay, not exactly know what that is. Very well, guys. Let's see. I think that's the last question. Okay, let's continue. Una colección de pinturas que se exhiben para el público. ¿Cómo lo llamamos? Excellent. Exhibition. Ese sí lo sabíamos, ¿no? Exhibition. Ay, quién sabe, ¿no? Magritte is one of the leading artists of which school of art? Surrealismo. Bueno, sí lo habrían atinado. Bueno, sí lo habríamos todos sabido por la pintura, ¿no? A little bit surrealist. Ok, we give up. A ver, ¿qué les parece que es esta pintura? Classicist, post-impressionist, impressionist, photographer. Okay, impressionist. Just for curiosity, what is impressionism in art? Se caracteriza a pequeños, delgados y aún así visibles. How can we say strokes? Como pinceladas.
excelente.
Ajá. Very well. Brush strokes son pinceladas. Brush strokes. O simplemente puedes decir strokes. Pinceladas leves, tenues, no vemos como muy marcado, right? You can see them, right? But it's not very, it's not obvious at the beginning, right?
Se usa
It's not,
mucho con acuarelas en la pintura.
ajá, yeah. But you know what you're seeing, but not exactly what you're seeing. Sabes lo que ves, pero no exactamente qué ves, ¿no? It's a little bit blurred. Yo me imagino como si hubiera niebla y pudieras ver un poco a través, ¿no? Ok, esto es impresionismo, impressionism. Okay, now we know something new. Excellent. So I think that's the last question. Excellent. Ok, muy bien. Algunos tuvieron muy buena puntuación. You know a lot about art. Okay, so now I would like to show you some vocabulary. Let's see some vocabulary now for pictures. Ahora vamos a hablar de pictures. Podemos decir pictures, podemos decir photos, photographs o simplemente puedes decir pics. P-I-C-S, pics. Y esas son fotos. So now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let's see the landscape. And let's see some pictures. I will choose one of my landscapes. I don't know. Okay, let's use this, for example. Now, if you have your phone in English, you will be able to see some parameters, algunos parámetros para poder editar una foto. All right. So I'm going to show some, and we have the first, but let's try to understand a little bit. Maybe here's anyone who is more a photographer, quizá haya alguien aquí que sea un fotógrafo y nos puede ayudar a explicarlo mejor. So the first one, exposure. Maybe in your phones you have it with other name, quizá si ustedes lo tienen en inglés su teléfono, pueden verlo y ver los ajustes de la cámara o para editar la foto y vean cómo aparece para ustedes. Okay, the first one is exposure. Okay. So what do you think is exposure? ¿Cómo podríamos traducir exposure?
Thing is when the eye of the camera is more open and the light enter in a higher way. I don't know.
Excellent. So, well, that's a very good definition. Yes, so sensor of the light or the lens, let's call it right, hacia lente. No estoy seguro, no sé de fotografías, no sé si sea lente o un sensor. So when it's more open, like you receive more light. When it's less open, you receive less light, right? Does exposure, we could translate like exposición. So it would be like exposure could be, we could say like light, como luz. Podríamos traducirlo de manera más simple. Brilliance. What do you think is brilliance?
¿Sería el contraste?
I'm not sure. Bueno, sería como brillo, ¿no? Brilliance. Yes, and highlights. We have these highlights. Highlight in English means subrayar o resaltar. Okay. So if I put maximum in highlights, it looks like this. If I put minimum, it looks like this. You look at maximum, look the middle, and it's like this. Could be like a kind of contrast. We could check how it's in Spanish. Okay, I would check this. What shadows? What do you think is shadows?
Sombras.
Very well, sombras. So check if I choose the minimum, so more shadows are visible. Maximum, less shadows. Okay. So I have I will tell you like what's you can help me try to see what's the translation. Okay. Highlights, as I see, es luces. Esta es exposición, luminosidad, luces, sombras. Okay. Contrast. What is contrast?
de contraste, más no sé
Contraste.
cómo funciona.
Exactly. Contraste. Okay. Brightness. Because we have brilliance, right? So, you know, el que vimos anteriormente, brilliance, is the intensity of the light, like in all the picture. Okay, in all the pictures, como toda la luz, si necesito más luz o si necesito menos luz. Now, when I use brightness, according to what I'm reading, so brightness is a measure of overall lightness in the picture. So it can help you to make the picture look more more alive, que se vea con más vida la imagen y le da más brillo a las partes oscuras, according to what I'm reading, right? I mean, if you're a photographer, you know maybe how to check this. Then we have black point. That's another thing here in the phone. What do you think is this? En español le sería punto negro.
Maybe it's where you want to focus on in the picture.
Okay, it says it can set the point at which the darkest parts of the image become completely black without any detail. Puedes ajustar a qué punto la imagen se va a ver completamente oscura o sin ningún detalle. So you can make like the contrast be, it's like another, let's see that black point and contrast son como dos tipos de contraste. Puedes utilizar contrast and black point, which I'm reading black point is a stronger contrast than contrast. Digamos que tienen en función para un contraste, este es de un contraste, este es de otro tipo o similar, pero diferente contraste. I think this would be, because if you check on your phone, sería punto negro. Okay. Then we have saturation. What is saturation? Saturación, yeah. What do you think makes, ¿qué es lo que satura?
Color.
Exactly, the colors, right? Más colorido, menos colorido. But also some phones, you have this thing that is the vibrance, right? And this, for what I've read, so saturation and vibrance are also for color. Es decir, saturación es para color y en vibrance too, que sería vibrance. ¿Cómo podríamos traducir vibrance? Could be like vívido. But what's the difference between the two of these? So if you choose saturation, un fotógrafo nos puede decir mejor, ¿no? Pero saturation gives a color to everything. No importa que sea. Saturation le va a dar color a todo. But vibrance, ese es otro tipo que le da solamente color a donde hace falta. Es como un tipo de color, le va a dar más color, pero de forma inteligente donde hace falta. So you can adjust some parameters here. All right, warmed. What do you think is warmed? You see, vean el icono, right? What do you think is warm? Hot, cold. Hot. And if I set it in the middle, it's template. ¿Qué será esto?
Calidez.
Calidez o temperatura, ajá, de la imagen. Okay, I use this for example. Sometimes I want it to be, no sé si fue un día caluroso literalmente o con que hubo mucho sol, entonces a lo mejor aumento esto para que se perciba. Si fue un día muy frío o es un país muy frío el que se visita o es una zona muy fría, so this could make it look more like this. For example, si fuera una foto de nieve, por ejemplo, quizá yo ajustaría esto en frío. I don't know, that's how I use it. Then we have tint. Tint sería como tinta, ¿no? Look what happens if I change it.
Tinte.
Ajá, el tinte. Okay. I don't find it I don't find any purpose. What I've noticed is that if you use it for some pictures, lo que yo he notado es que si lo utilizas en algunas fotos, puede cambiar totalmente el color. O sea, brutalmente. I don't use it. Yo por eso casi no lo toco, no lo utilizo. But, okay, here we have tint, for example. And like this, I don't really know. Like it looks for me more greenish, como cuando muevo aquí se ve un poco más verde. Acá va más hacia el morado, ¿no? I don't know exactly how it works. Okay, then we have the next one, which is sharpness. What is sharpness? Sharp es algo filoso en inglés, pero también podríamos decir que es como, how can we say? Nitidez podría ser. Okay. Qué tan nítida es una imagen. So, this will emphasize the edges for what I'm reading. Enfatiza los bordes. Si hay algunas partes que se ven borrosas, entonces sharpness lo que hace es atenuarlo y hacer que se aprecien mejor todas las formas que haya en esa foto. I don't know, maybe in this picture it's not very visible. Look, this is without sharpness, this is with sharpness. Okay, now we have definition, que sería como resolución. Es como un tipo, puede hacer un poco foto más HD. Okay, for what I've read. So you can give more definition, more detail to the pictures. You have two elements, definition and sharpness, que le pueden dar más nitidez a la foto. Noise reduction, que sea reducir el ruido. El ruido en la foto, no sé exactamente qué sea. Puede ser también algo que sea borroso, ¿no? And finally, we have vignette that makes this kind of tunnel vision, como una especie de efecto de vista de túnel, ¿no? But it can also be on the opposite side. Okay. So you have your phone in English. Do you have any of these characteristics? Si usted tiene su teléfono en inglés, ¿tienen algunos parámetros parecidos o distintos que les gustaría compartir?
I have the same.
You have the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't even know that I have that. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, we have super phones En cámaras tenemos teléfonos con cámaras que según son muy buenas, pero aprovecharlas quizá no mucho, ¿no? But maybe a photographer will know very well what to do. Other thing that I'm doing here is check the next thing. Entonces tenemos aquí una función que es, ya vimos este de ajustar. Now we have this one that is crop. Decimos crop, eso quiere decir recortar, all right? Crop. But si estamos recortando un video, for example this, ok, yo puedo hacer dos cosas, ok. So I can literally crop the picture. Puedo literalmente cortar, right? Puedo cortar la imagen. Eso sería crop. Ya vieron, aparece aquí abajo, crop. But if you use, digamos, quieres recortar no la imagen del video, sino una parte del video, no sé por qué no quieres que se vea, entonces esto puedo recortar lo que aparece en el video, el tiempo, digamos. In English, it's called trim, se llama trim. Trim. Y eso es recortar la duración de un video, pero crop es cortar la imagen. Okay. You have some other options, for example, straighten. Straighten sería enderezar. So you can twist the picture a little bit or you can straighten it. Vertical, horizontal, a little bit like this. There are some of these functions. I think that for video, or that's most of the options. But what do you think? There are many things, right? And
That is art.
yes, and there is a lot of vocabulary also for every aspect, right? Si hablamos del cine, entonces nos topamos con otro vocabulario. Si nos vamos a la danza, hay otro tipo de vocabulario y es vocabulario más técnico. So I'm using the one for pictures because I think everyone has ever edited a picture or something, and now it's good we know what it means in English. But let's continue. Remember the last class we had, well, you had a homework, you had some homework, and you had to complete using the gerund. Recuerdan que estábamos reduciendo o simplificando las oraciones utilizando gerundio. So let's go for it. And let's complete this together. Vamos a completar esto juntos. Okay, so vamos a resumir. ¿Qué estábamos haciendo el día de ayer? Yesterday we had some sentences and we had to reduce them, getting rid of the things that we were repeating. Sometimes the subjects were redundant. A veces teníamos sujetos que se repetían, ¿no? Aquí tengo we y aquí se vuelve a repetir we. Entonces se eliminó uno y continúo. All right. So we're going to continue. Okay, so here. Aquí vamos a eliminar esto. We left at 6 a.m. ¿Por qué? Porque más adelante tengo we, ¿ya vieron? Entonces, dos we en una misma oración es innecesario. So I say, leaving at 6 a.m. Listo. Entonces digo, leaving at 6 a.m., we headed north. Sería como partiendo a las 6 de la mañana, nos dirigimos hacia el norte. We didn't want to waste time, so we walked up the steep valley. Aquí también tengo dos we's que se repiten. Solamente voy a poner not wanting. Not wanting to waste time, we walked up the steep valley. Muy bien. De esa manera, elimino we, porque ya había puesto we, y simplifico la oración. Ok, entonces la oración queda así. Not wanting to waste time. Which led to the foothills of the Central Range. Central Range. Please tell me, Javier, what is the verb What verb do we have? Aquí tenemos que reemplazar, recuerden, lo que está subrayado. So tell me, where is the verb? ¿Dónde está el verbo aquí? Where is the verb in the number 3? In this part, what is number? What is that one? What is the verb? Maybe Gabriel. Check please number 3 and tell me where is the verb or what is the verb. Okay, Javier, Gabriel are not available.
Okay, okay. Sorry, teacher.
Okay, can you please read number 3? Tell me what is the verb.
Okay.
Let's read number 3 and tell me what is the verb. Oh,
Which led the full hill on the central break? Mm, which?
Ok, which sería el cual. ¿Y cuál sería el verbo? Tenemos which led to the foothills of the Central Range. ¿Cuál de todas estas palabras sería el verbo? Can anyone guess? Sorry?
Led.
Led. Ajá, led. Muy bien, pero este verbo está en pasado. Vamos a ponerlo en gerundio. Para eso necesito ponerlo primero en su forma base, es decir, en presente, y después le agrego ing. El verbo led es pasado, pero ¿cuál es ese verbo en presente?
Is led.
Lead.
Lead. Okay.
Lead es dirigir o liderar. So here is in past, but we have lead. Now, in gerund, en gerundio, ¿cómo escribo este verbo? Con ing.
Leading.
Leading. Very well. So now what we're going to do is, vamos a eliminar lo que no necesitamos. Entonces, vamos a eliminar, para la próxima, ustedes me dicen que eliminamos, vamos a eliminar which y solamente ponemos leading. Ok, like this. Entonces la oración antes decía, así que nos dirigimos hacia el valle inclinado, el cual nos dirigió a las faldas de el Central Range. Vamos a imaginarnos que es el nombre de alguna montaña. Pero simplifique la oración. Y entonces estoy diciendo ahora, caminamos hacia el valle inclinado, llevándonos hacia las faldas de la montaña. Ok. So we simplified. Nos comimos ya una palabra o quitamos una palabra. Y ahora la oración que antes tenía muchas palabras, ahora dice, desde el inicio, leaving at 6 a.m., we headed north. Not wanting to waste time, we walked up the steep valley, leading to the foothills of the Central Range. Más simple, más entendible.
Sure.
¿Ya?
What do you mean? Foothill?
Foothills son las faldas de una montaña o de un cerro.
Oh, okay.
Ujú. Foot son los pies, pie es un pie. Heel de la montaña, puede ser pie de montaña, también sería correcto. Pie de montaña o falda. Okay. Please, Cristina, can you continue reading number 4? Desde el number 4 hasta forbidding.
Once we reached the top of those thousand, we
Those.
saw
Yeah, those is correct.
we saw the most higher peaks ahead. Okay, claro. Five, they were covered in snow and looked forbidding.
Mhm. Okay. So once we had reached, esta contracción significa we had, pero had está en pasado. So Cristina, what is the present of this verb?
Have.
Have. And in gerund with ing?
I
How? Can you repeat?
having.
Having. Ajá. Ok, entonces vamos a reemplazar esto. Vamos a eliminar once. Vamos a eliminar we. Esto también, la de with. Y entonces, ¿qué diría la oración? Quitando esto y poniendo gerundio.
Creo que la computadora del profe se volvió a quedar sin batería.
Sorry, my computer died. Bueno, ahí lo podemos revisar desde WhatsApp, la foto que envié ayer. Entonces, ahí decía, once we reached, y ahora solo decimos, nada más para terminar esto. Y estábamos con Cristina, right?
Sí, teacher. Sería having
Have, exactly. Muy bien, en vez de decir once we reached, solo diríamos having reached. Habiendo alcanzado la cima, vimos cimas mucho más altas por delante. Very well. Please continue checking this. We will continue tomorrow, but try to work on it. Intenten, por favor, contestar todos los siguientes y vean si pueden reducir esas frases para que sean más simples utilizando gerundio. And guys, we finished for today. Thank you for your time.